Gods, I hate this timeline we're in. So, the Israeli government is continuing to pursue its efforts to commit genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza, um, rendering the northern sections of Gaza uninhabitable, um, stripping Gaza of everything: food, water, power, medical attention, um, turning it into a bombed out wasteland. Because I firmly believe that the Israeli goal is to drive every single Palestinian out of any place that could and even conceivably be bordered on Israel. Just drive them away and make them disappear. Just eradicate them. Some sort of a final solution to the Palestinian problem. And the United States is absolutely and utterly complicit in this. At this point, when Israel tells me something about what's going on in the Gaza Strip, or Biden tells me something's going on in the Gaza Strip, I think that both of them are less reliable sources of information than Hamas, a terrorist organization, one that I recognize as a terrorist organization, and that I still think is probably more trustworthy than either the Israeli or the American government. And we just keep throwing money at these genocidal maniacs in the Israeli government. Now let me be very clear. I am not saying that I am speaking out against the Israeli people. I am speaking out against the Israeli government. Just as in, I despise Hamas, but I think that the Palestinians should be allowed to, say, continue living and have access to housing and food and water and health care and education and autonomy and human rights and civil liberties. All of the things that everyone should have. And I recognize that while Hamas is living amongst the Palestinians, that the Palestinian people are not Hamas. So I can simultaneously be appalled by the acts that Hamas has committed, while also being appalled at the acts the Israeli government has committed and the complicity of the United States government in those acts. We are capable of walking and chewing gum. At least I am. I can have two concepts in my mind at the same time. I am aware that many people in the Red Cap camp aren't capable of that. They are only capable of seeing Israeli good, Palestinian bad. And they seem very comfortable with the brown people being eradicated from the surface of the planet, of hospitals being bombed, of no fuel, which means no water because they need to run desalination pump systems. And I understand that Hamas is a terrorist organization and that they have infiltrated the Palestinian people thoroughly. I get that. But I also understand, because I am a student of history, that Hamas and Hezbollah, for that matter, exist because of the Israeli government. The Israeli government's actions in the past have created the fertile ground from which has sprung Hamas and Hezbollah, terrorist organizations. And even if Israel were to somehow magically go and make every single member of Hamas disappear, tomorrow there would be Hamas 2.0. Because the atrocities they have committed upon the Palestinian people will be responded to with violence by some Palestinians. I do not condone that violence. I do not want to see that violence occur, but I understand why it will. And as I've said before in a video, and I'm going to say it again now, I'm going to ask again, how long would you tolerate living under the type of conditions that the Israeli government has created for the Palestinian people? How long would you do that? How long could you tolerate it before you said no more? And after that point, it's a slippery slope into justifying pretty much any kind of atrocity under the sun. But make no mistakes, if the Israeli government had treated Palestinians with justice and empathy and compassion, treated them like human beings, we wouldn't be here today. But they very much decided not to. And it very much helped Netanyahu to have the enemy, Hamas, running the Gaza Strip politically, because that meant he could always turn to say that those people over there, if you don't keep me in office, they're going to hurt us. All the while doing everything in his power to hurt the Palestinian people, till eventually they snapped. And some of them committed an atrocity against the Israeli people. And that serves Netanyahu as well. And it got some billions of more dollars from the United States. They're even currently fast-tracking some R&D into a new laser system to help to be a missile defense system. Because of what happened in October? I mean, the U.S. already has laser systems on some ships, but now they want to fast-track the research and get them installed on the land to function as missile defense systems for Israel. How convenient for them. Something I'm sure they've wanted for a very long time that just happened to now be really easily justified. So yeah, Hamas is a terrorist organization. I don't want them to exist. I don't want any terrorist organization to exist. But I understand why they exist when you put a people under relentless oppression for decades. The Israeli government is currently committing genocide, but they have passively been abusing the Palestinian people for decades. They have created the situation they're in, and they have used all of the things they have done against the Palestinians as justification for all of the things they continue to do against the Palestinians. Any act of violence by Palestinians justifies in the minds of the West any form of violence by the Israeli government against the Palestinian people. But no act of violence committed by the Israeli government against the Palestinians justifies in the minds of the West any acts of violence by the Palestinians against the Israelis. Think about that for a minute. It's okay if the Israelis commit any form of atrocity they want. And the West thinks that the Palestinians should just sit there passively and accept it, because they're brown and Muslim. The Israeli government is committing genocide. And we need to stop our support of a genocidal government. That's it.